meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the roll call reflect everyone is present with the exception of Director Peterson. 4.0 student representative information.
I wasn't here last week, so we're going to back it up. On February 9th, our one act went to state and they did exceptional. And we are very proud of them for doing so well and advancing to state since they have not in the last 4 years. For close-up right now, they are selling Herberger's coupons. They are $5 each, and you could ask Ms. Krebs for a coupon book if you'd like to support your Evelyn Gilbert close-up. I had something else.
Can't remember it.
Yearbook, we are ordering our yearbooks, and we will have very little that we have extras, so make sure you order your yearbook in time. And that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
5.0 agenda additions and deletions.
Madam Chair, under consent agenda B, I have John Wagner as the boys track coach for a stipend of $3,690 as head coach. The assistant remains open. We don't have anyone right now.
So I'll just need to state that when I run through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else? No. 6.0 visitor input. Anybody sign up? Nobody signed up with me either. 7.0 approve the agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve agenda.
I'll second. Motion by Mullner, second by Sather. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 8.0 approve the treasurer's report for the second check writing of February.
Well, for the second check writing of February, in the general fund disbursements, we had $152,151.83. Food service, we had $40,000, $531.41. Transportation, we had $3,912.31. Community education, we had $989.66. Capital outlay, $12,782.44. Nothing in debt service, trust and agency, $500. Channel 12, we had $1,650. Flex plan was nothing. OPEB, we had $2,464 and no cents. Comes to a total disbursements of $214,981.65. I recommend that the board approve the second check writing of, the second check writing of February.
Yep. I'll second. Okay, motion by Addy, second by Sather. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 9.0 consent agenda. A, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Monday, February 12, 2018. B, approve the 2018 spring coaching assignments to include John Wagner at $3,690, correct?
Yes.
And reflecting that the assistant coach remains open. C, approve extracurricular appointments for the 2017-2018. D, approve last day for seniors. And E, accept donation from the Evelyn Elks Lodge 1161. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Support.
Motion by Mullner, support by Gentilini. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 10.0 items removed from consent agenda, we don't have any, so moving on to 11.0 personnel. 11.1, approve the resignation of Mark Halleck, plumber B. Would you want me to distribute this now?
Yeah, I'll wait till you have it.
Thank you.
There is one on the table. Anybody else want to see one? The job description for plumber A.
All right, so Madam Chair, what you're looking at is the current job description for plumber A that's been in place since 2005. We haven't had a plumber A for a while. We've been contracting that license out. Just looking, as you accept this resignation, he being the senior boiler operator that we currently have, you'll notice on this current job description from 2005 that on the back side, one of the specifications is you need a chief engineer class, grade C license, boiler license. After last year's inspection, we actually came to find out that just because of the horsepower of the boilers on the Evelyn campus, we actually only need a first class C. Might be easier to find one if we switch that, maybe not. And just, I guess what I'm asking you is, as you approve this, when I also asked to approve a posting of a replacement position, it's just a matter of if you want to try for a plumber A or if you want to do another plumber B like we have been doing. Like I said, right now we're contracting that license out, so.
Do we have anybody that has their licenses on staff?
We don't
right
have
now?
a first class C in the building, no. We have one second class and a couple of special engineers, but we don't have a first class C, no.
So you got first class A, I can't quite remember how that goes, but you can be,
Special engineer, second class, first class, chiefs.
right, so they would be, it would be a first class or second class B, right? It does, could because of the horsepower is lower and we're only talking on
We need
less than,
we need the first class, the third step.
because of steam pressure. I mean, I'm just looking at steam pressure and horsepower
Yeah.
dictates what we can have,
So
or what we need.
So if we attempted to look for a plumber A, are you proposing that we would then adjust, are we able to adjust the chief engineer
have to
grade
adjust
C
the-
license to first class?
We'd have to adjust the job description to fit their current needs in.
Okay, and that would meet our needs and then be still meet the higher level, and then we wouldn't have to contract that out
If we found one,
if we found one.
yeah.
Can you get this descriptions? I mean, I can get it at home of what we need as far as the classes of boiler operators and what they can,
Sure.
okay, that way,
See the difference between the
right,
three?
see the difference between them. And then, and you say there's nobody in-house that can, like, is even close to wanting to take a test or taking the test? Is that something that we can?
We have a second class that can operate Gilbert.
Mhm.
That one's small enough, but it's the Evelyn boilers that require the first class. So
Is it combined, is it combined, it's not combined on both campuses, horsepower rating, right? It's just,
just one
but-
each individual campus.
okay, but those three boilers will never run at all three at the same time, correct? Only two at the same time, so that puts the horsepower rating lower, because it cannot run at all three at the same
I
time.
believe, and I'm stepping into an area where I'm not anywhere
That's
near an
how I-
expert, but I believe because it's there, though, they still count it.
With the potential of having that high horsepower of
Yeah.
having all three run? Okay. I was told that they, I mean, by the retiring, or the,
Well, it's pretty rare
Yeah,
that
it says that they
it's pretty
all-
rare that they're all three are running at
Right.
the same time, but
right,
apparently if they are there, we have to count it.
okay.
Is there a possibility of contacting the the local union to see if there's a retiree that has this license that could fill in with us until we can,
Well, that's what we're doing right now.
you're doing that right now?
That's, we're contracting out that license. That's
Well, we
how
have
we're-
one individual now that's contracted out, right?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be available full-time enough to take care of what the plumber?
He would continue to do what he's doing right now, which is hang his license in the room and do boiler checks, but,
And he has to come here, what, once a week, or what is he, once a week? Okay.
I'm just asking if you want to go find our own person or you want to continue doing what we're doing.
I mean, I think we should look
I think
at,
it's worth it to adjust the plumber A job description if we know that we can do it under the first Class C license and see if we can potentially fill the position as is without having to contract.
Well, we can look.
I mean, whether we find someone or not, but at least,
And then the other thing that I would need to know if we want to consider, you want to consider finding someone that's willing to go get the license. I mean, they don't have it right now, but what if
Yeah.
they were willing to?
Yeah.
go?
In-house,
I'd be-
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to,
Train from within.
yep.
All right, you can proceed then.
So how do you need me to?
Well, we have to just approve the resignation, and then, as far as posting for replacement, if the board so wishes, we can, change the job description, or the qualifications of a plumber A to reflect, you don't have to say all that back, but just to change the qualifications in the, plumber A, and look for one to see if we can find one, and if we don't, I guess I come back in 2 weeks and tell you that I couldn't find one.
Okay, so
What's, excuse me, Brandy, do we know what, like, the horsepower, do we know what we have here for horsepower? I
Yes.
mean, just, okay. mean,
I want to
just
say it's 260, but I'm not real sure about that.
No, I think it'd be higher than that, I would think.
Think so?
Yeah, probably 500 at least.
Then I don't know.
I mean, I would think.
That might be Gilbert.
I mean, that may be one boiler.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm just saying what I'm getting at, before we start changing the job description, I would say we should, look into finding somebody internal that would be willing to take the test, and then, but you said that this chief engineer license has to change because of the horsepower rating?
We have, when this was made, it was assumed that our boilers needed a chief's license to operate them. But the last time we were inspected, the state inspector came in, he said, actually, the horsepower that you have here, you could get away with a first class.
Because of the surface area or
Yep.
something? Okay. All right.
So we need a motion to approve the resignation of Mark Halleck, plumber B. And if the person wants to make a motion to further it with changing the job description of plumber A, so we can look for that or find somebody in-house that's willing to get the training, they can word it that way.
Well, just so you understand, and Bill knows more about this than I do, but it's not getting the training so much as getting hours.
For
Like someone that
licensure.
is licensed. So, I mean, it's just a matter of working hours and then going to
Right.
take a test.
Right. I think that's the direction we should go. We should hire from within. I mean, these guys, if you hire from outside, I mean, these guys that are working the boilers know the boilers. They've been around them. They know their little quirks, and I think that if there's somebody in-house that'd be willing to get their hours and take the test, I think that would be beneficial.
also allowing any opportunity to allow a promotional job.
Absolutely.
And I just don't want you to leave the impression that next week
Yeah.
somebody can take a test and
Yep.
Yeah, it's
figure it
going
out.
to take a while.
I mean, it
Okay.
takes almost a year, I think.
So we can continue to contract with the person we currently are in order to do that.
Yeah.
There's a side of community college, because I'm looking at getting a boiler license to operate or be the senior operator for Tufco. There's books you can get, but there's a class that one can take. So we invest, develop someone, send them to class. Their chances of passing that test are very good. So it doesn't necessarily going to mean that we're contracting for a year just because we're looking at, seeing if anyone's interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 11.1, we need a motion to approve the resignation of Mark Halleck, plumber B.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the resignation of Mark Halleck, plumber B.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Sather, support by Chad. Any further discussion? All in favor?
No, I think Mark has been a very faithful employee, and I really hate to see him go. I understand he's done a fantastic job. He's gone out of his way to keep the system going and that, and I hate to see our good employees leave. And, I would like to see that the board sends a letter of thank you to Mark, thanking him for his years of service.
Okay, thank you for mentioning that.
I second that, Tom. Just input I got about Mr. Hallich. He was very smart. He was quick with what his assigned job description was. He would help many others, and kind of he was like the smartest one, at what he did. So
Okay,
sad to see him go, but we appreciate his service.
all right. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12.0 new business, 12.1 discussion on 2017-2018 calendar.
Plumber A.
Do we need to make a motion
Oh.
over this? I just separated it though.
Okay, so we need to make a motion for approving
Just
the,
a post for plumber.
Yeah.
okay,
Post for plumber, so I'll make a motion to post for plumber A with the adjustment to the qualifications, moving it to a first class C license.
okay. Do we have a second?
Second that.
Okay, motion by Sather, second by Mulner. Any more discussion?
Yes, if it doesn't require a first-class C, you know what I'm saying? That,
If it,
You know.
what do you mean if it doesn't?
well, I mean, it's the first-class C, that's the minimum requirement, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, 'cause that's the lowest one.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now moving on to 12.0, new business. 12.1, discussion on the 2017-2018 calendar.
Madam Chair, this is just a discussion item tonight, as various schools are trying to put together a common calendar. The one that was passed out to you is the example that is probably going to be adopted by most of the East Range here. We're hoping that everybody gets on board with that. I guess if you had any thoughts on it, this would be a good time to input that. But from here, we'll meet, we'll have a calendar committee within house here and discuss the calendar, and then probably next meeting it'll be on the agenda for approval.
Does staff usually have input on the calendar?
That would be the calendar committee, yeah.
Today, or whatever?
We haven't
Okay.
yet, no, but we will.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
So typically right now, how many teacher in-service days do we have?
On this year's calendar, we have 3 during the year, and there's 3 before the school year.
Okay.
It's an increase of 1 then.
Yeah.
Correct.
Actually, it'd be the same because the last day here is also, I didn't count that in there, but you have 3 before and 1 after, and then 2 during the school year. We actually followed, this year we actually followed the common calendar. Evelyn Gilbert did, some of the others didn't around us, but we're hoping to get
Say
everybody
it
on
doesn't
board.
look too drastically different to what our
No,
current
it's-
calendar is.
Pretty similar.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All right, then moving on to 12.2, approve coaches and advisors handbook.
Madam Chair, we've had a number of study sessions on this topic. The handbook itself is I think, been gone through to where the board wants it. The one thing that still needs to be changed in there is the athletic discipline policy within the handbook. We had talked about that, and we still haven't officially made those changes yet, so that policy will come up probably at the next meeting, but for now, it is the standing policy, so it's in that manual.
With that, so I'm glad to know that you guys haven't officially made the changes. Because one of
Well,
the...
we wanted to have one more discussion about it because it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and one thing that was really bothering me is extracurricular and co-curricular policies don't match on how it's treated for tobacco use and for alcohol and drug use. And I think they need to match, is my opinion.
And that, like I said, that's part of the policy that we still need to
Okay,
treat.
so I just wanted to put that out there when you guys are looking at that. I just
The
think
reason
that-
it's, like I said, the reason that it's in that book right now is that is the standing policy
Yep.
until we change it, so.
So I just noticed the difference that those two don't match. And then the other part that also wasn't matching is the racial, religious, sexual harassment, violence, and hazing. Between the two don't match also.
Yeah, that too is policy.
And that was, again, I don't believe that there should be a difference whether they're playing a sport or they're in speech. So,
Yeah, we'll, next study session, we're gonna tackle that one.
okay.
Then on that first violation, we talked about, about chemical dependency counseling.
Yeah.
And that was going to be addressed to where, we felt that the board was consensus that, we should be forcing these kids to go seek drug and alcohol counseling.
Yeah, I think that, sorry to interrupt, I think what he's saying, because I had asked about that as well, I think what he is saying is that the policy has to change.
Mhm.
And then, once the policy is changed, then this will
It'll be
be
reflected.
changed to
Okay.
reflect the policy change.
So you'll give us plenty of time to go over and read the new policy and kind of compare the old to the new?
Yeah, we'll have another study session on the
Okay.
policy itself.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Because, yeah, part of that was the payment for it. If families didn't have payment or other
Right.
issues that came up with it, yeah.
Our last study session, we ended consensus. We thought that discipline should align with the Minnesota State High School league
Right,
rules.
correct.
Yeah. and
So that's
what-
where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we...
And that's why we're
things
going to have a
changed.
study session.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why we're going to have a study session again to
Finalize it.
finalize
right.
it.
Okay.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve it, and then the changes will be reflected once the discipline policy is complete.
For further review, to make sure that it's,
Yep.
okay. I'll move on that.
Okay?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Addie, second by Sather. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12.3, discussion on school board evaluation. That's me, I'm up. Okay, so one of the things that I've been talking about quite a bit is making sure that we have our priorities aligned. We've got a lot of irons in the fire, it seems, and we need to have some direction. So the board evaluation, back in the spring when MSBA came up for our training, we had a discussion about not only doing a superintendent's evaluation, but also doing a board evaluation, self-evaluation. And so this is the start of the process of getting to a superintendent's evaluation. We kind of need to know where we're going in order to set those goals as well. So it's on the agenda today because I wanted to make sure when you guys see an email that comes from me with a link for the school board evaluation, that's what this is about. I can read it so you guys kind of have an understanding of what the school board evaluation is. And like I said, watch for the email. What I do ask is if once you do get the link, once I send that out, which would be probably in the next couple days here, once you receive that, if you can complete it within 5 days, I think that's sufficient amount of time to get that done. But this is something that the MSBA recommends as well. And what they say is that research shows that high-functioning school boards have a positive impact on student learning and development. MSBA strives to provide exceptional services to boards with the goal of strengthening school board governance practices. To that purpose, we are offering a new electronic school board self-evaluation to provide data to boards that guides goal setting for continual improvement. The school board self-evaluation results reflect the collective responses of the school board team, board members, and superintendent, building a profile of your board's work and 5 standards of board practice, proven to support student achievement. The board standards will provide responsible school district governance, set and communicate high expectations for student learning with clear goals and plans for meeting those expectations, create conditions district-wide for student and staff success, hold school district accountable for meeting student learning expectations, engage the local community and represent the values and expectations they hold for their schools. The school board self-evaluation contains 71 questions and takes about 20 to 25 minutes to complete. The evaluations are anonymous and targeted to your individual board. As soon as all members of the team have taken the evaluation, you will be contacted with summary results within a couple of business days. The evaluation and basic report are provided as benefit of our MSBA membership at no cost to the district. If our school board, however, would like to dig deeper into the self-evaluation and data, MSBA does provide an opportunity to use your evaluation data as an in-district workshop. I know we've also discussed having the MSBA come back so that, you know, we can get rolling on that. And again, it's a step closer to being on the right track for developing a superintendent's evaluation. That's what the whole school board evaluation is geared towards. So
I think that's great.
Yep.
Thank you for pulling that in, and I appreciate that, and I think it can only make us better, so.
I won't take the credit for that. I think Jeff got an email about it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Jeff. I think that's good.
But I think that it's something that, you know, we need to do. Like I said, we've kind of been talking about prioritizing in the school district and figuring out where we're going, and it's important.
You know, in evaluations, you know, wouldn't it be possible too to put out an evaluation of the board, you know, by our employees to see how we're doing, and plus the public?
It would be really nice if we could.
I'd like to know what the opinion is, you know. And it could be a rating like 1 to 10 or something, you know, without signing it, and do the evaluation of the board members plus the administration. Then we would know what the public and what our employees think of our job, or how we're doing it. I mean, OERs, you're familiar with that, Derek, right?
I am.
I'm very familiar with it too.
think-
I've had 1,000 of them, not on me, you know.
I mean, I think
Well,
there's
maybe
a
not quite
way.
1,000, but, and that gives me an indication of, hey, am I proceeding in the right direction or not, you know? What is the opinion out there?
Is there,
And this can be done very easily on a scale of 1 to 10, and rate the board and the administration. And it wouldn't have to be signed or anything, just check it out. See how we're doing.
I think pertaining to this, for the school board self-evaluation, I think that's, I'm open to that. I think that
Sure.
would be a great idea. I think there's ways that you can do it through Google Forms or something so that we can get that information as well, because I would be interested to see.
I would bet anything that MSBA probably knows. I would
Yeah.
think someone within the state has done it.
So once we complete this, once we complete the school board self-evaluation, and we talk to MSBA about coming up again to do further trainings, maybe that's something we can ask
Yeah.
for guidance on how to do that.
Okay.
I'm in.
All right. So that's just discussion. I don't think we need to prove anything. So just when you get an email from me that says link to school board evaluation, that's what it is.
The clock starts.
Informational.
What is the timeline on that, you think?
5 days.
You said 5 days to completion, and what's the timeline from when they?
Well, what
when
they
we
said
give our
was,
input
once
to-
everybody's, it said once everybody has completed it, it takes just a few days.
So,
Takes a couple of business days. And I believe what I had read in their email was that information will come to myself and Jeff once they have compiled all that information, correct?
Yeah, what they want to use that for then is they'll come up for a training and help guide the board into creating goals for themselves.
push for late March. For them to
For
come.
them to come up.
No, it'll
Be
all-
sooner?
It'll be all of that. They're-
We're busy.
Okay. So as soon as we can get them scheduled, once we've all completed and we can get them scheduled here, we'll get on that and keep moving forward. Okay. Moving on to 12.4, approve assistant mechanic job description.
Madam Chair, this is one of the last ones we have to, there's a couple more that we got to do at the next meeting too, but the major change to this particular one is it allows a little more independence of that position so that they can do some things on their own. Allows them to come over to this camp. The mechanics are housed over in Dover, and it allows them to come over here and work on some of our small engine things and whatnot. So that's the only real change.
Well, will anybody make a motion for that? To
I'll
approve
move.
the assistant?
I'll move.
I will second. So motion by Addy, support by Lotiger. Any discussion?
I would like to be present when you do the interviewing for this mechanic's job.
That's typically
Yeah,
not
if you
something
could
that the board
notify me
involved
and just sit in on the interviewing.
with. There won't be an interview for it. There's a test it's an in-house test. We already have some internal applicants that'll take that test, and if one of them passes, there won't be an interview.
Okay, that's good.
This is a standard test.
Yep.
I don't think that's typically done, not to say that it can ever maybe, but I would want to check with MSBA on that before we would
Sit in on an
allow
interview.
to have somebody off the board sit in on an interview. I think it's totally it's valuable to have somebody, that's already doing mechanic things that we employ to be in those kind of interviews, if it were to be hired out or
Yeah,
whatever,
like
but
For the
school board,
interview, I have a lot of mechanical experience with tanks and vehicles and you name it.
I understand that. It's
I just
just-
like to sit in and,
I understand,
this is the-
it's just not typical.
because we go by recommendations, if we're going to strictly go by a test then, or,
That's what we do for internal candidates. I mean, if they can pass this basic standards test, we allow them to, the most senior one that passes it gets the position.
Was that our order for a board member to review the test? Other than, if you have
Well-
somebody in-house, a union, then
Contractually, the administration and foreman approved the test, and it's already been approved by both parties a while ago. We've given it a couple times in the last couple of years.
So the board doesn't get to see the results of those tests at all?
It's just a pass or no pass. I mean, if they come to the board, they pass the test.
So how many questions are on it?
30, I think,
And when you got a
70%.
70%?
A lot of it is, it's not so much a paper pencil thing, it's actually more of a hands-on test.
I'd be curious
Skills test.
to see the results. You don't have to, you can take the name off it. I'd just be curious to see the results of the test.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 12.5, approve the resolution number 653 to exclude student. I believe this is a situation where
Yeah,
we,
I mean, it
it's
is
a data
a-
privacy.
I mean, you read the report. So there was a definite violation of school district policy by this individual. They have been out since November 2nd, I believe. And that's when their 12 months would start. They could, at the beginning of the school year, they could apply for reinstatement to the board. But as of right now, this would be a 12-month deal.
So Jeff, it says in there the substance believed to be, was it drugs that this person had or was it not? Is believed to be. That's, I mean, to me that's kind of, it's not given sure definition that the controlled substance believed to be methamphetamine. Was it or was not? Was it or wasn't it?
I don't know.
And
Okay.
We were told at the time by the police department that it
Oh,
was.
so there was a police report filed on this?
And I would think the other possessing of other drug
Yeah, the-
paraphernalia.
Yeah, I understand that.
A night is
There was
sufficient.
plenty there to go by. So.
And this happened on the school premises?
so we just need a motion for that?
It's a resolution.
Need a motion, a second, and then it's a
Okay,
roll call vote.
resolution. Okay.
So this person, whereas the Board of Education, this is a waiver was signed knowingly, I mean, a waiver of just,
The difference is you can expel a student when you go through that process. You have to go through an administrative hearing, so you have to hire a judge, or the parent can waive their right to that hearing, which happened in this case.
and that's just basically admitting guilt.
Accepted, yes.
It's admitting guilt,
Right.
okay. So there'd be like three counts here, you know, there'd be controlled substance, drug paraphernalia, and contraband being a knife.
Well,
Or
yeah,
all
that's
kind-
the big, I mean,
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on.
they're all, I mean, they're all, okay.
I don't know why they had to call it that, but
Yeah, right.
but
Okay.
Yeah.
just
So
the
we need to
dimensions
make-
are fine.
And just so you're aware, I mean, when this happened, we were told that this individual wouldn't be back here for a long time, by law. But as it turns out, that only counts for 90 days in AJC, so that's why we had to start this process now, because he would have come back otherwise.
I will make a motion to approve resolution 653 to exclude student.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Sather, support by Mulner. Any further discussion? So this is a roll call vote.
So, starting with Director Gentilini,
Yes?
Director Chaff,
Yes.
Director Addy,
Yes.
Director Sather is yes. Chairwoman Lotiger,
Yes.
Yes.
Director Mulner,
Yes.
and Director Peterson is absent today. And that is 6 yeses and 1 absent. Resolution 653 passes.
Okay. Now we just move on to 12.6.
Yep.
12.6, approve the CEP agreement with Vermillion Community College.
Madam Chair, this is a standard agreement that the board passes every year for our college and the school classes that are taught here on campus, with Vermillion Community College being the representing institution. We have agreements with Vermillion, we have agreements with Wasabi, and we also have one with Lake Superior College as well.
Okay, we need a motion to approve.
Also move we approve the CEP agreement with the Vermillion Community College.
I'll second.
Motion by Gentilini, support by Addy. Any further discussion? This is something that's ongoing, you said, so nothing's changed? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12.7, set closed session to discuss negotiation strategies. We need a motion for that?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to set the closed session.
And I will second. So motion by Sather, support by Lotiger. All those in, or any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We will go into closed session. That's the end. Yep. Okay, 13.0, administrative reports and information.
All right, our enrollment as of this morning was 925, which remains the same as it was last time we met. Little weight room update, it has been moved. We're still waiting on the cardio equipment that we agreed to purchase, but everything is moved. We had the Sweet 16 tournament this weekend and that went fine. So, should be good.
I went. Thank you for doing it.
A little bit about scheduling, so these two individuals in the back have been working on high school and junior high registration. I believe you guys are done with, right? Done with the pre-registration. We actually, this year, we added in, is it 5 telepresence courses? You know, just off the top of your head, what do you got?
Well, look at my slide.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
I'll let you do it later.
Okay.
We'll start putting the schedule together now this week, and those numbers will drive our budget, which probably end of March, into April, we'll start having those meetings as well. A little bit of what's going on around the building. We're in the last week of I Love to Read month. Miss Madden is in the audience over there. She's been doing the Franklin this year. I'd like to thank her. It's been great. Last week we had Mike Surdich. I don't know if anyone remembers Mike Surdich. He was our guest reader. He used to be the coach of the hockey coach. He read the book Zephyr and Zamboni. Just a couple pictures from I Love to Read month. We've had guest readers and competitions for AR points. It's pretty cool. Buddy reading's been pretty prevalent. Older kids coming to read to younger kids. I want to thank Northern Lights Dental. They came in for the first grade. They're the dental office and over in Gilbert. They came in and did a dental health presentation for all of our first grade last week. It was very much appreciated. They did a nice job. And just wrapping up I Love to Read month, so we have our outdoor Olympics on Thursday. Hopefully the weather's nice. And then closing ceremonies on Friday. Yeah, it's been a good time. Go ahead.
Right, a couple things not super specific to Gilbert campus, but things that we agreed that we discussed tonight. We have a new conference format for this spring for 7th through 12th grade, and the conference will be coming up this Thursday, March 1st. We sent out some of the format changes via a Power School announcement to parents last week. Also, at the end of last week, we sent letters inviting individual families and their students to the conferences. We're going to have special kind of scheduled conferences with selected parents and students. We'll be making some phone call reminders in the next couple of days to some of the parents, and hopefully we can get a good showing for conferences this spring. And the reason for the change is really the format is to increase communication with parents and really focus on individualizing students' educational experience in with Gilbert. Next slide talks about some training that a few of us in this room were actually at today. We've been going to some trainings through LSI, that's Learning Sciences International. It's funded through the local EIP foundation, and it's been very beneficial to our district, I believe. We've implemented professional learning communities And the last of the 5 trainings was today. I really want to thank the school district and everyone that participated in that. You can see one of our activities today was to look at this thing that we've been looking at from the beginning called the SIM model. And if you could read all those words there, they're very significant towards what we're doing. So,
It's really all about student-centered learning with rigor. So that's the central theme of all of our trainings.
And then I just snapped a photo of this Change for Cancer. It's going around the district right now. There's several canisters such as that. And we're doing our 4 club kind of champion the idea in our building, and we're reaching out to the entire district to gather up some change for a staff member who has contracted cancer.
At the high school level, within the last 2 weeks, we had 2 field trips. This one is a couple pictures that Mr. Pillsbury took when Ms. Betzold and Mr. Pillsbury took some students from Mrs. Betzold's class down to the Target Center. They went down on the 13th and then spent the night, and then on Wednesday the 14th, they went to the Target Center, and the Timberwolves and the Lynx, they put on a business day, and they highlight different career paths that students can get experience with. It ranges from finance to marketing to basketball operations. So I'd like to thank Mrs. Betzold for setting all of that up, and she's here in the audience. Thank you, Ms. Betzold, and Mr. Pillsbury attended. Another one, field trip that took place, I don't have pictures of, but Mr. Strasser is our IRYA, our Iron Range Youth and Action Advisor, and they went on Monday the 12th to the Fortune Bay, where they have a guest speaker, and the guest speaker was talking about mental health this year. And then there's breakout sessions that students put on different presentations that our students went and participated in as participants. So thank you, Mr. Strasser. And then Mr. Carey did talk about registration, and we are completed with registration. We're just fine-tuning it now. Telepresence courses, the first batch that you see, the calculus, personal finance, criminal justice, intro to business, intro to computer programming, and science topics, those are all classes that our teachers on our campus said that they would teach via telepresence if we have enough students to offer. So that's, I want to say thank you to Ms. Peschel, Mr. Strasser, and Mrs. Peschel for taking on that challenge of teaching a telepresence class, because it is extra, and I appreciate that. The bottom 3, there's 2 world languages, Chinese, Ojibwe, and then digital photography. We offered those to our students, 9 through 12, and those are courses that are going to be offered off campus. The 2 world languages will be at the new MIB High School, and then digital photography will be coming from Masabi East if we have enough kids sign up for those. So those are couple new courses that we're offering. REACH, what REACH is about, Mr. Grippentrog and I are going to implement hopefully 1 class at each of our buildings. And it's when I think about REACH, I think about like it's a job, not a job coach, but a life coach almost. It's for those kids that are struggling, not on an IEP, but are struggling and need some extra support. And so it's a 1 hour a day. It was first started in Hutchinson Public Schools because a lot of kids were failing and they had a high rate of failure. So they hired an alumni who happened to be a counselor, a children's counselor, and he came in and he developed this REACH with the teachers and the community. And it's about relationships, education, accountability, character, and hard work. So we're hoping to, with the principals and the counselors and teachers, to select some students that might fit, that would need that extra support 1 hour a day. And there's a prescribed curriculum that they follow. So there's a curriculum already set out there where there's like academic support 2 days, there's a character building, there's goal setting and check-ins too. So there is a curriculum out there that will follow. Most of the schools in our district are going to be implementing at least 1 hour of REACH this next school year. So there's going to be, in our region, yes, in our region. So there'll be some other schools also doing this program. So I'm excited to get that going and seeing how that will go.
I have a question. Do other schools in our area have the military kids club? I
No.
forwarded that information. It's recent news to me, but
No, I'm
No.
not aware of anybody in the region that has that at their school.
okay.
So it was good information. I passed it on to the counselor because I thought, he may be able to put some students and families in touch with some of those programs.
Great. Minnesota National Guard leads the way. 34 ID leads the way. We train more than anybody else.
And we do have the National Guard in the schools quite a bit,
Right.
really.
Yeah.
With all the fun activities.
Yes, with all the activities that they bring.
Just a couple of reminders, only one on the board, but March 22nd, Alexandria. Remember, if you have folks that, and some of you have reached out to me, if you have somebody that you'd like on that trip, let me know. The other one is just a reminder that the last study session we had, we were trying to put together a district advisory committee. If you could forward me your name.
We, I think I sent you an email on that about maybe having a work study discussion on that again.
Yeah, we'll probably have one next week anyway, because we gotta do the athletic policies.
If you can put that on the work study,
Very good. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
discussion, that would be great.
we
So the
have-
March 22nd, the Alexandria trip, it could be parents
Parents,
or...
students, we're looking for a couple students, a couple parents, business people,
Okay, so any of those.
primary focus.
Has it been posted in a bulletin or school?
No, I'm actually going to meet with the Chamber of Commerce to, I had mentioned to, I don't remember who was in the room, but that might have been in the last meeting, that if you had somebody that you personally knew that you felt should go, that it's going to be by invite only.
I think that was in the last board meeting, we talked about that.
So was there any more teachers from this district going down there then, again?
We'll have a couple of them.
Yeah.
We have room for 40 people between us and Virginia's. We'll fill her up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, teachers, for coming tonight.
Very good.
Okay, moving into closed session.
Yep.
So we'll take a brief recess and go into closed session.